what is the price point do you think we can be by V4 for Hex, and what price do you think we could be on by mainnet?
So, what I think is important here is to identify historically relevant support slash resistance areas. Now, it can be tough identifying specific areas because what you run into oftentimes is ranges. So, in trying to flip through these different um, time periods, I'm trying to see if I can highlight a range that has been historically relevant because what happened in the past is likely to be relevant moving forward. And what I can see right off the bat is a historically relevant zone of support slash resistance. Well, mostly support historically. That's likely to be resistance moving forward. And the way that you can confirm that a historically relevant support level is likely to be resistance moving forward if you break under is if you get confirmation of that short term. And that's exactly what we see right here. So we see over here historically a massive range of support. So we see here we pumped up support.
So that's 10 and 13 cents.
So essentially between 11 to 13 cents has historically been an extremely relevant area of support during the beginning of the bull and the end or the beginning of the bear as well. And the way that you can confirm that this was indeed relevant and likely to be relevant moving forward is we can see that that's exactly where we got rejected this time around. So again, testnet version 4, bullish catalyst. During the testnet period, we're likely to get further updates as to what's going on. So if that does indeed happen, we get a bullish catalyst in the relatively near future, then we can definitely see a pump. Now,
where are we going though? So V4.
Right. So in order to confirm that V4 and the news of V4 is a sustainable pump, I would want to see several daily candles opening and closing on a range higher high. So to confirm that the testnet V4 is not a buy the rumor, sell the news event, I want to see bullish confirmation. So if we pump up, come back down to retest, find support around here, several daily candles opening and closing around this region, that's confirmation that the testnet is perhaps a sustainable uptrend. And in that case, I would definitely say that a retest of 11 to 13 cents for the testnet V4 is likely possible. Now, upon news of mainnet, then if we zoom out here to kind of a higher time frame, then we could probably try and identify a next major relevant zone. And a very obvious one that pops out here is around 15 cents. Resistance here on the weekly, support here on the weekly. And again, it's a bit of a range. It's very tough to find kind of an exact price point. But we can see here that this kind of range historically was relevant. Resistance here, support here. Resistance here, support on that weekly. So we can see that around that range, we saw a lot of support slash resistance, a lot of price action rebounding off that range. And so moving forward, around that kind of 15, 16 cent mark is likely to be relevant. So upon mainnet, I suppose we could probably go from 11 cents to about 15, 16.
11, 15, 16 on mainnet. Okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it also maybe would depend on, where Bitcoin's at and where like the rest of crypto is like, or how long it takes. Like if it takes like 3 months, maybe we could be higher, but what do you think?
Sorry, say that again.
Like if let's say like Bitcoin's at like 40, 50,000, you think like we could already be talking like all-time highs in play if mainnet launches there?
I'm very doubtful of reaching all-time highs before the latest Bitcoin halving. Especially, you got to consider the fact that what mainnet essentially means is a doubling of supply, meaning buy pressure is being diluted from one liquidity pool to now two liquidity pools. And so because we don't know, how if we're going to have price parity and there's so much ambiguity as to how the liquidity pool situation is going to work out, what we do know is that mainnet is essentially a doubling of supply, which is there's no other way to say it, is a bearish thing. Whenever supply doubles, that means it takes more to pump the price, especially if there's price parity or a similar price between EHEX and PHEX, especially long term. Short term, I could definitely see a lot of divergence, but we've heard Richard Hart say that he doesn't want to see cheap HEX anywhere. And so short term, while liquidity is being sorted out, while liquidity pairs are perhaps becoming more liquid, while there's a lot of emotions in the market, we could see a short-term difference between EHEX and PHEX, but long-term, they're, I think, likelier than not to be somewhat correlated. And so before the latest Bitcoin halving, I doubt we see all-time high. And especially the way I like to think about price predictions moving forward is, number one, it's great to identify what can be kind of these major support/resistance levels, especially in the short term.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button and subscribe. For weekly meetings, courses, and to access my Discord, consider becoming a Patreon. If you're looking for a more personal experience, consider booking a one-on-one. All links are in the description.